Hello and welcome to another episode of Gumzo CYber Security Podcast. Today I want to touch on a bit of network security and highlight a few concepts that I feel are important. And number one is deep packet inspection. Deep packet inspection is a method or technique that is used in network security devices to inspect data packets in real time as they pass through a network. Ideally, DPI or deep packet inspection enables a device not only to examine the header of a packet, but also the payload. Remember, a data packet has a header and it has a payload. Essentially, the meat of the matter is at the payload. So if there's anything that can compromise your network or tell you about an intrusion, it should be in the payload. So we have a header that has information relating to the destination, the source of that data, IP addresses, and then you have the information which is now in the payload. So deep packet inspection is a technique that allows a device to inspect both the packet header and the payload. It allows for a more thorough analysis of data that is being transmitted. So DPI is often used in firewalls, in intrusion prevention systems, intrusion detection systems to identify and prevent malicious network activity. Ideally, this is the technology that will help you identify any anomalies within your network. So it can also be used to monitor the network traffic and enforce policies such as quality of service and bandwidth management. So if you suddenly notice there's a spike or in the network traffic, it's the DPI that will essentially help you in even raising an alert to that effect. So we have said deep packet inspection is used in devices such as network intrusion prevention systems, intrusion detection systems. An intrusion detection system will raise an alert. So if you have let's say a technology that is helping you in aggregating alerts. You might have configured your IDS, your intrusion detection system, to essentially send alerts to, it could be a SIM, a security information and events management system like Wazoo. It could help you, or even Splunk, that would help you to aggregate and enrich those alerts. An IPS that we have just mentioned, that in the deep packet inspection in itself is a very powerful network security tool, because it analyzes traffic in real time, and besides doing an alert, it will essentially drop the necessary packets so that they do not get into your network. So that is deep packet inspection. Therefore, just to summarize, it is a technique or a method that allows a network device to inspect both the header and the payload of a data packet in real time for any necessary action to be taken. So the next concept I want us to discuss is application control. Application control is a security feature used in monitoring and managing the applications that are running within a network. Say, for example, you do not want people to run an application for torrenting. You do not want people to run an application for video sharing, such as YouTube, or a chat application during work hours. So essentially, you need a solution that helps you in application control. Application control typically works by examining the characteristics of network traffic, such as the source and destination addresses, port numbers. Think of similarity to actual physical ports, ship containers, ship traffic through ship transfer of goods from one port to the other. So essentially, if you are torrenting, you're using a torrenting client to download movies or any malicious files from the internet, then it might be using a particular protocol that runs on a particular port. Then it may be using exit servers that are known, right? So essentially now an application control system will use those network traffic characteristics to know how to handle particular traffic. Applications also follow particular protocols, as I mentioned earlier, and then using this information, particular controls can be instituted. So the information that is used to create policies that define which application are allowed within a network and what is not prevented. So an application control appliance or software will essentially use those kind of characteristics to determine which how policies are going to be to be to be defined, essentially to allow or not allow a particular application to run. So we have said it will use characteristics such as protocols, it will use ports, it will use destination and source traffic. So that is application control. So application control can be implemented through various means, and this could be through firewalls, this could be through IPS intrusion prevention systems, and unified threat management devices. So I've mentioned something new. We had mentioned an IPS and firewalls. So here we have said application control can be implemented via unified threat management. So let's discuss what is unified threat management. All right, so let's proceed. So before we mention what is a unified threat management device, let us compare and contrast an IPS and unified threat management. So all these have come up as devices that can help to ensure security within a network. An IPS, an intrusion prevention, this is a security solution that uses what we just mentioned, deep packet inspection and other techniques to monitor and prevent security breaches or threats in real time. An IPS works by examining contents of a network packet in real time and comparing that information to a database of known threats. If a threat is detected, the IPS will take action, and we said most of the time an IPS will be dropping traffic. I can give an example of an IPS which is open source, that is called Snort. Snort in itself can work as an IPS and at the same time as an IDS, an intrusion detection system. So here we are discussing about an IPS. Snort works the same way we have mentioned here, how an IPS works. It uses deep packet inspection. And the interesting bit, since we have said that an IPS works by examining the content of the network packets against a database of known threats. Our example that we have just given here, the Snort IPS, gets its updates of known threats from a system managed by Cisco that is called Cisco Talos. Cisco Talos is a sort of threat intelligence database that is used to give updates to the IPS Snort. Snort is an open source intrusion prevention system / intrusion detection system. So when it is working in IPS mode and also in IDS mode, the database it uses for comparing any anomalous network traffic is powered by Cisco Talos, which is a threat intelligence source. Then let's go to UTM, the Unified Threat Management. So these are security devices that can be used at a network level and combine multiple security technologies in a single platform. UTMs typically will include a firewall, an IPS slash an IDS, an antivirus, an anti-spam, and any other security technologies. A UTM has one goal, and that goal is to provide a comprehensive security solution to small and medium by combining the multiple security technologies into one device or platform. So when you look at a UTM and an IPS or an antivirus in itself will be protecting your internal network via the internet, right? So all these technologies, whether it's a firewall, is an IPS, or it's a UTM, a Unified Threat Management device, these technologies will differ in the focus, and that is why it is critical to be aware of your security posture. These devices will take different approaches to network security, and the choice most often will depend on the specific depth and requirements of the organization and the network architecture. That is why it's critical for an organization to be aware that this is where we are in terms of our security posture. And if you do not know where your security posture is, you do not know the potential threats that could befall you, you do not know your exposures, you have no idea of the vulnerabilities that you have across the various endpoints in your system, the various systems that you're running in your network, then you are like chasing wind, essentially. So therefore, today I wanted to touch on a bit of concepts with regards to network security. We could even now mention, now that we talked about firewalls, there are firewalls that are a bit advanced in nature, and these are referred to as next generation firewalls. And uh, they have enhanced security features compared to traditional firewalls. So these firewalls come in different flavors. We have different types of these firewalls. So just to mention, we have a stateful firewall, a stateful next generation firewall. So this type provides the same basic firewall functionality as a traditional firewall, but there's improved performance and scalability. A stateful firewall keeps track of the state of each connection, therefore allowing it to manage network traffic and enforce security policies more efficiently. So it remembers, it's like it has a memory, it can retain the form and nature of a data packet that has passed through it. So if it is a threat of any nature, then once it marks it as a threat, even in future, it will still be detected as so. So we could quickly mention the other types of next generation firewalls that we have. So we have application aware next generation firewall. We have a threat prevention network next generation firewall. We have an identity aware next generation firewall. We have an SSL slash TLS inspection next generation. And those are the various next generation firewalls that are designed to provide specific security features and functionalities. The choice of this next generation firewall really depends on the specificity of security requirements by an enterprise, right? So, with that presentation, I would want to hammer or enhance the point that organizations that are serious with their security need to appreciate their security posture. They need to carry a routine security assessment and penetration tests so that they can have a feel of where they are with regards to security vulnerabilities and exposures. And also the security teams need to stay abreast of the offensive tradecraft to know the kind of tactics, techniques, and procedures that are used by adversarial parties towards the CIA triad within an enterprise. The CIA triad being confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your resources and systems when you require them. So, with that, thank you for listening to Gumzo Cybersecurity Podcast. Stay safe.